Title: Atlas of Shadows. Jonas Reed was never one to believe in ghosts, curses, or shadow folklore. He was a documentary filmmaker, rational, skeptical, logical. His YouTube channel focused on urban legends, abandoned places, and hidden histories. But after the Atlas video went viral, he stumbled into something darker than he'd ever imagined. Part 1: The Package Asterisk. It all began with a brown envelope. No return address. Just his name, typed, Jonas Reed. Inside was a slim leather-bound book titled Atlas of Shadows. The cover was embossed, black, embossed maps shifting subtly when viewed at certain angles. Jonas flipped it open, blank pages. A cold draft grazed his neck. He shivered. Under the dust was a page stamped with coordinates. 39.3897 degree N, 76.6122 degrees W. Baltimore Sector, Zone 7. Jonas grabbed his gear. "If this is a hoax, we'll expose it," he told his assistant, Mara, who agreed, reluctantly. They traced the coordinates: a disused warehouse district at the edge of Baltimore, once home to textile mills, long ago abandoned. Baltimore's Zone 7 was a forgotten industrial sector, decaying brick buildings, shattered windows, weeds breaking through concrete. The sun was dipping as they arrived. They parked near a rusting chain-link fence and approached the warehouse at the coordinates. The structure loomed, half-collapsed, draped in shadows. They entered cautiously, flashlights cutting through the dark. Inside were remnants of old furniture, filing cabinets, and peeling murals on the walls, strange maps overlapping each other, painted in a style Jonas had never seen. In the main chamber sat a pedestal. On it, the same Atlas book, opened. Mara gasped. "Did someone bring it here?" Jonas approached. The book's page now glowed faintly, showing a map with pins marked across the U.S. But one pulsed red, Baltimore. He reached toward the glowing pin. Suddenly, the warehouse seemed to shift. A wind kicked up. Their flashlight beams flickered. And then the door slammed shut behind them. "What the hell?" Mara spun around. The air changed, thick, heavy, almost humming. On the wall, shadows moved in unnatural ways. Jonas felt his skin prickle. "Let's film this," he whispered, raising his camera. As he began recording, a whisper curled through the room. "Jonas." Both froze. It wasn't Mara's voice. Then, something shifted behind the mirror mounted on the far wall. A black, featureless silhouette stood silently, watching. Mara backed up. "We shouldn't be here." Jonas didn't move. He zoomed in on the figure, but in the lens, nothing appeared. The shadow was invisible on camera. Suddenly, the pedestal trembled. The pages of the atlas flipped violently, stopping at another glowing coordinate. This time, not Baltimore. It was Los Angeles. Jonas stared, heart pounding. This wasn't a hoax. It was a trail. And something, or someone, wanted him to follow. The ride back to New York was silent. Jonas kept glancing at the atlas resting on the seat beside him, now closed, but heavier somehow. It felt alive, like it was watching. Mara finally broke the silence. "Are you sure you want to keep going?" Jonas didn't answer right away. He stared out the window as streetlights flickered past. "That thing, it said my name, Mara. And the next location is Los Angeles." She frowned. "What if it's not a game anymore?" Jonas looked at her, eyes sharp. "Then it's the most important story I've ever told." A week later, they landed in L.A., the atlas tucked safely in a hard case. The coordinates led them to an abandoned mansion nestled in the hills, the kind no one talked about, even though everyone seemed to know it was there. Vines strangled its gates. Windows stared blankly, like open eyes refusing to blink. Inside, the mansion was pristine. No dust. No cobwebs. As if it had been waiting. Jonas placed the atlas on a marble table. It opened on its own. This time, the page showed not coordinates, but a name. Elias Crane, witness, asterisk. A creak echoed upstairs. Mara froze. Jonas followed the sound to a study filled with old books and portraits. One painting had been slashed down the middle, a man in a military coat, eyes gouged out. On the desk, another copy of the atlas. But this one was blank. Suddenly, a voice, clear, low, and trembling, filled the room. "You're not supposed to be here." Jonas turned sharply. A figure stood in the hallway, an old man with sunken eyes and a limp. "Elias Crane?" Jonas asked. The man's lips twitched. "I followed it too," he said. "The book, the trail. I thought I could map it. Understand it." He pointed to the blank atlas. "But the more pages you open, the more you lose. First your memories. Then your shadow. Then, you." Jonas and Mara exchanged a look. "What is it?" she asked. Elias chuckled bitterly. "It's not a map. It's a door." Suddenly, the lights flickered. The walls pulsed. Yes, actually pulsed, as if the house were breathing. Shadows slid across the floor, climbing the walls like oil. Mara stepped back, fear flashing in her eyes. "We need to leave." But Jonas stared at the atlas. A new page had appeared. This time, it didn't show a place. It showed his face. And beneath it, the words. "Cartographer of the unknown, next entry begins." The walls groaned. A shadow spilled out of the painting, crawling toward Jonas. Elias screamed, "Close the book." Jonas snapped the atlas shut, and everything stopped. Silence. Dust settled. But Mara had vanished. Only her shadow remained, etched on the floor like a stain. Jonas fell to his knees. "Mara." The atlas pulsed once in his hands. Then again. It wanted him to keep going. Somewhere, far from New York, in a dusty antique store in Arizona, a woman picked up an old leather-bound book from a shelf no one remembered stocking. It felt warm in her hands. She opened the first page. It was blank, until her name appeared, ink writing itself. "Camille Bennett, entry 1 begins, asterisk." The atlas had a new seeker. The story would continue. Moral asterisk. Some mysteries aren't meant to be solved. The deeper you go, the more you become the story.